So my daughter had an interest in doing some ski touring, and I looked into getting a ski touring adapter through Contour. They looked like a great product. Cost was a little bit high for especially living in rural Nova Scotia, where I may not actually get to use this stuff very often. So I decided to make her one, and I thought I'd show you folks how I did it, at least parts of it. So here you can see this is the adapter onto a pretty small boot, and I used parts I could find at the local thrift shop, and I'll show you what they are. So first of all, the binding itself is right there. It came off of a Snowblade. I ended up getting these for 20 bucks off Marketplace, and I was able to use the toe and heel hooks off of that, so that's part of it, which made up this piece here. And then if you look at the bottom, which is the plate that would go into the Alpine binding, I used these sort of kids cross-country skis that I picked up at local thrift shop. It's really great. It's hard plastic. It's got a lot of grooves to make it light, and it seems to hold up pretty good to being placed in the binding. For the hinge system right here, just used a standard gate hinge, and had to drill it out and take the spring out, then put a new stainless steel bolt in there with a lock nut. And then the part where I connected the heel and the toe piece together is just a standard aluminum bar. Pretty lightweight, very inexpensive, and I made it. It won't be able to move currently, but it'd be pretty simple to just drill out these rivets, move it over when her foot gets a little bit bigger, and that's the start of it. So the reason why I used this was it was really matched the ski boot really well. If you see the different height between the heel and the toe, so the ski was able to mimic that as well. So larger at the heel, smaller at the toe. So the first part was to determine the base of the boot. So basically took the ski boot, placed it on top of a piece of plywood, and traced it out around, and then cut that on the bandsaw. So that's the first part. Then I needed to make the plate that would go into the Alpine bindings, and so I wanted to determine the height of the toe and height of the heel, and with that I found the part on the ski that would match that height. So I just sort of moved it up and down, figured out where that was, and determined that that was about right. So now that will click perfectly into the Alpine boot binding as if it were the boot. The next part was to attach the front part of the hinge onto the plate, and basically I used rivets, but you could use stainless steel bolts and nuts. Just make sure it's square, and putting that in and putting my rivet in. Alright, so I've got that part on, nice and solid. So the next part, depending on what you found for a toe loop, you'll have to determine where you want to put this front part of the hinge. As you can see, I've got on there with some rivets and my metal bar that will extend back to the heel piece. So that part is ready, and now it can fit on to the base plate. So now to determine where I'm going to put the heel piece, I've got the front hinge on, and I'm going to place the boot in, and then I'm just going to slide the tail piece forward till it feels pretty tight. Oops. And I'm just going to mark that where they meet up. So I've got the completed pair here. Got the two adapters lined up, ready to go. And now I didn't show you too much about how I actually put these parts together. They're going to be pretty specific to whatever snow blade bindings you can find, or whatever you know, I guess maybe an old snowboard plate binding might be somewhere to get parts as well. So you're gonna have to determine that, but just having the base plate out of the old little kids cross country skis is a good starting point, and the gate hinge and the use of the snow blade binding. So hopefully between those things you can get something yourself. Plastic parts might be kind of nice too, might be a little lighter, although this doesn't seem to come in too heavy. I'm pretty happy with that. And anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. Yeah, hope I'll update some photos or some video when my daughter actually tries it out, if we get some snow. All right, thanks for watching.